start getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate. The values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour and troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
How's it going, Nathan? Yeah, buddy, I'm making it. You want to have a seat over here and talk for a minute? Yeah. We can go over here under the shade, man. It's hot. You doing all right?
Oh, how you doing, me?
I hate to meet you like this, man, but
What?
we'll have
Okay.
I'm not police.
Okay.
We're just here to have a little talk with you, if you will, and just letting you know I'm recording for my safety and for yours.
Okay, sure.
That way you can't say I tried to blackmail you or
Somebody on video?
yeah, we record. What are you here for today?
Well, I was here to meet with them.
How old was they? How old did they tell you they was?
Thought they were 18.
Sure about that? We got all the messages.
Maybe I think 14 or something like that.
Yeah, that's more like it. But I'll be honest with you, man. I try to be honest with you if you can be honest with me, and that's we've got all the messages saved,
I understand.
all the audio, and
I mean, I had a vibe.
I got you.
I wouldn't have done nothing though.
Well, I know.
Because I mean, I have a daughter of my own.
Yeah, we seen that, and that was kind of one of the things that it kind of worried us. I believe the most about the whole situation is where you was sending audio messages of your daughter, having to tell them hi and all that with her decoys and stuff. But it kind of worried me about that. With that you're using. That's the way it came off to me anyway. Is you're using your daughter to try to get them more comfortable.
No, it really wasn't necessarily using her to get more comfortable. I was just trying to make them just feel more comfortable with me.
Yeah, I got you.
But
kind of using her like a wingman or a wing girl, I guess.
I don't know. But I know I'm not somebody that would hurt any kid, and I'm not like that.
I was just just to let you be aware, that the legal age of consent in Kentucky is 16 years old.
Okay.
So, I mean, unfortunately, what you've done could be considered multiple felonies. It's especially crossing state lines, and you're coming all the way from Alabama. That's
yeah.
Yeah, I've been down there a few times myself. We go back into
what do you need from me?
well, honestly, man, the truth out of the matter, to be completely honest, and I don't even have to go through the messages because you know what's in there, and I know what's in there. You sent a pic or maybe multiple. I'd have to look back through to see how many. But
that was only two. That's all I even
yeah.
had.
What was it that kept you wanting to talk to them after they told you that they was 14?
I think it was the fact that they wanted to connect.
Mm-hmm.
I know dating for me has been hard.
Yeah.
But like, never once was I a threat.
Yeah.
To anybody.
You don't have any kind of sexual charges in your background?
Oh, no,
nothing like that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, we're an organization. We try to learn from these kind of situations,
right,
to better be able to protect kids online.
Oh, absolutely.
It's honestly it's an epidemic right now, man, with
right.
what goes on, and there's different ways that we can go about that. There's ways that we can learn from your mistakes,
right,
to be able to teach other parents what they can do to better protect their kids online.
Absolutely.
Because it's you just said you had a daughter.
And I worry about her because she plays these PlayStation games, these Roblox, and
that's a bad one.
Watch all these YouTubers and things of that nature.
That's a very bad one.
And she's already at 7 years old talking about, I make this boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the kid's probably around her age or something. Thereabouts.
I would definitely check into that.
Yeah.
That's
but yeah, I mean, I worry about her growing up so fast.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person where I'd want to protect a young girl from going through that.
Yeah.
Somebody with ill intention.
So that's kind of the question that I was going to get at there was, your daughter she's 7, right?
Yeah, she's 7. She'll be 8.
So another 7 years, she'd be the exact age of the girls that you've been talking to.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about a man in his 40s talking to your 14-year-old daughter?
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So you see where we're coming from with that. I mean,
where you're coming from.
And obviously, if this hadn't been us here today, it would have actually been 2 14-year-old girls that lived here local, which they don't.
Right.
But that's our whole goal is awareness of this, to be able to teach people how to. It's become so much of an issue that almost every child you talk to, especially females, you talk to, say, from 9th grade through 12th, or even, say, just age-wise, from 13 on up to 17. Just about every single one of them has received unsolicited messages from grown men online. I mean, it's a very, very big issue. That's part of our mission, is just drawing a light to it.
Right.
The other part of it is learning what we can from people like you that, there's a reason why, again, once they told you, and it was said multiple times throughout, not just the group chat and the individual messages and stuff like that, but was also said multiple times that they was 14 throughout the entire thing. So, it's not something that you really miss, especially at the beginning too. Like that, I think it was the first 3 messages in, but the first decoy actually told you that she was 14. But is there anything in the messages that you can remember that you would like to maybe give your side of the story about, or?
Well, I mean, I know it was about trying to do something, have intercourse or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I mean, It seemed like throughout the course of the interaction, I kind of like felt a vibe about something. With some Dateline and stuff like that.
It's not my hillbilly ass, I'll tell you that.
But yeah, I mean, I felt that little inkling vibe on my, because I just got off work.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get off work till like 3:45 this morning.
Oh, so
I rested for a little bit. I really didn't feel like driving, because that's about a 5-hour.
Yeah, that's a good little trip.
So, I mean, I was like, okay, well, I mean,
how far is Huntsville from Leeds?
From Leeds,
Birmingham?
Alabama. Oh, that's about an hour and a half.
Oh, you're north of it.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I've been.
Birmingham is more south.
I've been a little bit further south than where you came from, I guess, but it's pretty country down in there. I like Alabama.
Oh yeah.
I like Kentucky a little bit better, obviously, but
yeah,
I'm a little partial to it, I guess. But I don't normally, if somebody's being honest with me, I don't really get into the messages a whole lot, and there is a ton of messages with this one. Like, do you remember when you all started talking?
I don't know if it had been about a month.
It sounds about right.
I don't know the exact date. I know it had been a minute. It had been kind of off and on, because usually at night things would just kind of get kind of cold.
And this is where I was talking about, your daughter.
Yeah.
This is the one I was talking about. That's involving your daughter there to engage with two underage. What would have been?
I never actually told her about them.
Mm-hmm.
I just asked her to just say.
I got you.
Well, I didn't necessarily tell them how old they were or anything like that.
I know there's well over 200 screenshots for the group message between you all, and I know you all had also messaged back and forth a few times with on their individual accounts too, which again, in all of those, their ages was mentioned, but you go into detail pretty quick with the first decoy account. Was
that the?
Yeah. You say, "Hey, how are you?" She says, "I'm good." And again, you message first. We don't, other than the fact that you requested for the other one to message you. We never message anybody first.
Oh.
But you messaged the first decoy first, and you say, "Hey, how are you?" She says, "I'm good." You say, "I'm okay, just getting my daughter down for bed." And she said, "I'm heading to bed too." You said, "I feel that. Did you have a good day today? And how old are you, by the way?" And she answers 14. So that's 3 messages in right there. She tells you her age, and then you reply, "You look older. How old have you dated before?" She says that she's dated, older guys, but you ask how much older.
And then she mentioned somebody's name.
Yeah, that was just another one of our helpers.
Oh, okay.
You tell her that you're 42 and asked if she's scared. And of course, she says no, but then you immediately ask if she's got any pictures and if she lives with her parents. And that's something that we see a lot with this type of thing. Is you'll have people that will actually search out kids that has an absent father in their life, maybe an absent mother. They're on drugs, they're just not involved in their life that much.
Right.
And people will use that to be able to get to them. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen in like a 2-parent household, or even nothing against a 1-parent household, as long as they're involved in their kid's life. And there's plenty of mama bears out here that I'm sure you're a lot better off meeting us here than you are some pissed off dad or mom.
Oh, absolutely.
But especially here in rural Kentucky, people take that stuff pretty serious.
Yeah.
And we're not here for any of that. I'm just here to talk to you and kind of get your viewpoint on it and try to learn from you as much as I can.
Right.
But you go in with actually the third and the fourth. It's kind of mixed there, but by the third screenshot, you go into telling her your kinks, what you're into.
Yeah.
You kind of tell me a little bit about that.
Right. Well, I mean, it was just things that I was just into sexually.
Yeah.
But I mean, I go into that with generally anyone who I'm trying to closely getting to know. Whether it doesn't matter, but you know, it could be older.
Yeah.
And I'm going into that.
I know it was drawn out pretty far, but you say I'm a pleaser first, but I love getting with constant eye contact.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to read it if you'll be honest with me. But
I'm honest with you. Like you asked me about the
whole
facials and all that. Yeah.
The whole thing about doing stuff in isolated public places where no one ever really goes, but you kind of like the thrill of being caught, but not really. You know, that's
that basically what that boils down to is not getting. I mean, I tell these to like older women, doing things where you're not getting caught by the police or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, we're not the police, but I mean, are you still aroused at this point?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I really want to get some rest after that long 5-hour drive.
I got you. Yeah, I'd say that's a instant boner killer seeing a few bearded fellers walk up instead of two 14-year-olds. But she says, how many girls you send that to where you already have it typed out? Just kind of made a joke, and you said that
that's pretty tight.
Yeah, that I do that so I don't have to keep typing that stuff out. You said
right. Yeah.
Only to get ghosted. Too many people ghosting these days. I need someone that's consistent and stays. So, how often are you sending? Like, are you just?
Well, I'm on dating apps like Facebook dating.
Is that your icebreaker or?
No, it's not it's not an icebreaker, not at all.
Okay.
You know, I talk to people for a little bit before I even go into that.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of guys. I think they believe a icebreaker is a dick, and that's
no. I don't. I hardly ever even do that unless it's asked for.
Yeah. Well, I know going through these, I don't believe it was asked for. It was, discussed beforehand, and they gave you the option, said, you can do what you want. But
yeah, I think they had sent me pictures of them, but nothing was ever a nude picture with them.
Yeah.
Because they said well, that's probably a ruse about somebody getting committed or something like that.
Yeah, believe it or not, that actually happens a lot.
Well, yeah, I've heard stuff like that on movies and stuff like that.
Oh, it's more than movies, man. It's these girls, they don't, they're young and they don't understand that whenever they take these pictures and they send them to somebody,
it gets mass
forever.
Produced, yeah.
It's forever. And it's a lot of times can cause them to end up going over the edge.
And that's another one of my concerns, like with my daughter and all the stuff with this OnlyFans thing, stuff out there. Like, I wouldn't want her to think, oh, well, this is fast money. I can just do this and not have to work hard.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give anybody down for their way of making money, but it's definitely, I don't think that's a path that kids should look into going to. They shouldn't be striving to take that path. I'll put it that way. There's a lot better ways of making money than having to put yourself out there like that. And
absolutely.
And honestly, there's better ways of doing stuff than like what I'm doing right now. I mean, I put myself out there every day. For all we knew, you could have had a gun on you or anything like that.
I'm harmless.
But I mean, you see why we have to take precautions. It's not. We're not here to hurt you, and it's like I told you. You're free to leave at any time. But I would really like to be able to kind of pick your brain a little bit and learn more from you. we'll go through some of these if it's okay, but she had mentioned, or I guess where you had mentioned about sending messages like that or sending pictures like that, they had said that about their friend that had done that. And let's see. You told him that you was from Huntsville, Alabama, and that you was less than 5 hours, so that's not bad for me. The thing is, you have to make yourself available for me. She says, oh, really? That's not that bad. I thought it was further. And she said, I mean, I've done that before. And she was speaking in terms of the kinks that you said, that not being on video. But you said, really? You have pics and videos of cum on your face? LOL. And she says, no, I don't keep that on my phone. I'm 14. I don't want to get caught with that. You know, it's just another spot in there that it was mentioned how old she was.
Right.
You say, where have you kept it? You said you done all that before. Did the other person keep it? She said, sorry, I meant I've done all that, or I've had all of that done to me, but they never took photos. I mean, I don't care if you take photos and videos, just don't show people. And you say, oh, I wouldn't. You can trust me. And then, but where in Crab Orchard, Kentucky are you? And then she says, like my exact address. And you say, how can I come to see you if I don't know where you are? And then you say, you must not be serious about meeting. But again, you know, they have.
Yeah, I mean, I think around that part was where I was kind of getting vibes of, okay, something's off.
But she said, I don't give my exact address to anyone. I don't know. I'm not stupid, but I'd be happy to meet you somewhere, then go back to my place, which is where we arranged to meet here at this park. You said, I never thought you were stupid, never said you were. And then I asked, where is it? I would meet you if you have no car. And that was, I'm assuming the address they gave was this park here, where you came to.
But my thing is like, what if something would have came up and I wouldn't have been able to come today?
Well, I mean, we've been waiting all month. We'd have waited on you a little longer, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. We spend a lot of time doing this, and you know, we all.
How long have y'all been doing things like? I mean, I think I've seen certain things like this before.
We've not been at it very long here in Kentucky, but there's organizations like ours all across the United States. I mean, there's multiple like ours, but some a little better. Some, you know, they go around beating the guys up and acting, you know, stupid in my opinion, because then, you know, there's no reason to do that.
Right.
Whenever I can learn from you, and I'm going to get more from you from being able to pick your brain and figure out what it was that led you down this path, what it was that caused you to not turn around and say no whenever they said they was 14, which most guys, if they message one of these accounts, within, as soon as they see that at that age, it's usually we're usually blocked pretty quick. You know, but for every one that does that, you know, there's a few that don't, and you was one of the few that didn't. But is there anything else you want to know about our organization before we?
Not really. I mean, I kind of got the gist when I came and I saw people walking up this way.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if it's a Kentucky thing or what, man. We like hiding in trees around here, but that and the bushes and a little bit of everywhere.
Now, the video recording that she's doing, like,
that's just for my safety and for yours.
Oh, okay.
That's like I said, I don't want.
I know if they get shown to publicly.
Well, I mean, that is, you can't say that I came up to you and I said that, you know, you're going to give me such and such amount of money, or I'm going to turn all this over to the police, or I'm going to blackmail you into, you know, getting money from your family, or, you know, something like that, which is not what we do at all. You know, without us recording, there's no way we can prove that.
Right.
If obviously it would be multiple people's words against yours, but at the same time, it's still our word against yours. And as long as it's recorded, then, you know, there's nothing there. It's just us sitting here having a conversation. So, But you asked multiple times about if their nipples are innies or outies and what color their nipples are, and you asked for them to send you pictures, nude pictures, multiple times.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, but like those type of questions, I answer just regular women.
Yeah, that's well, unfortunately with that, they're not older women, and
right, I know
that can be looked at completely different. But
exactly.
You kind of go on in this to where through the messages, it sounds more like you're considering them your girlfriends now than it is that you're just coming up here to meet them today. You're talking them, calling them your queens.
I said that, but like, I knew in my mind realistically that you can't have two women as girlfriends. You could barely juggle one woman.
Yeah.
Two, like.
No,
I just said that just to be inclusive.
I got you. I see where y'all had switched back and forth. The 336 number that you messaged from, is that your actual phone number, or is that a burner phone?
That's my personal cell.
Okay. Yeah, I know you. I mean, you wasn't being very bashful about it. You sent your birth certificate and everything in the messages, and I'm assuming that was your birth certificate, wasn't it?
Probably was.
Yeah.
I guess getting them to believe that I'm really who I say I am.
Yeah. I know she goes to, I think that's how it led into it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is that kind of how it led into the whole threesome thing with both of them, or the dating both of them, is the fact that they was so close, they was friends, and then you asked, do you all tag team? You remember saying that?
No, I remember asking them, or either asking about if one of them get jealous or something of each other. And I think that's what that. And once they said that they wouldn't get jealous of each other, then that's when it kind of led to
that. You're not the first. Trust me. We've had multiple guys so far that has been caught trying to come and meet multiple minors at the same time. It's definitely a draw. I mean, I guess because it's what is it?
But this is
3 so far.
This isn't something that I just do.
Yeah.
This is the first time that this has ever happened where I've driven just to meet people that were 14.
Have you ever driven out of state to meet like adult women? Or?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
is that something you kind of do pretty often?
My last relationship, I dated a woman and her she had 3 kids. She lived in Camp Dorado, Missouri.
Okay.
So I think I even mentioned that at some point.
I don't know if you mentioned the one in Missouri. I know you had. We'd have to. It's like I said, man. There's that's a whole month's worth of conversations that we. There's multiple times you can see, and that's the way it came off to me too. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but with the whole, you're wanting a picture every day, you're wanting them to call you constantly, stuff like that, which I think they sent a few voice messages and stuff, I believe, but
yeah, and that was because I think that was for me to feel like they were real.
Yeah.
Because whenever there's a lack of pictures on Facebook profiles, and it kind of raises your suspicion. Okay, so are they who they say that they are?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, would you have done that same thing with an adult woman if?
Yeah, I would ask for pictures. Yeah. I would ask for voice clips or whatever, so that way I know who they say that they are.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of fake profiles and stuff.
Yeah.
These days.
Is the picture that you sent of your son and your daughter, is that the only kids that you got?
Yeah, I just got 2.
Okay. How old's your son?
He's 12.
12.
It'll be 13 in August.
I noticed that. I guess you said he lives with his grandpa in North Carolina.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was messaging them when I was on my little Father's Day trip in North Carolina.
Yeah. We was keeping up with that too, but I know we had started to try to get.
Then I got sick.
Yeah.
While I was in North Carolina.
Yeah, we started to try to meet you somewhere down in Eastern Kentucky. Then I think, but it just didn't work out then. But
oh no, I would have been too tired.
Yeah.
Ain't no way, because I had that long drive back to Huntsville from North. I was over 8 hours.
You know, you mentioned as the other decoy, if she had Instagram or Snapchat, what all kind of stuff do you get into on there?
Well, I just see if there's more pictures on certain social media profiles because there was a lack of pictures on Facebook profile.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see, okay, do they have much more following? Are anybody following them? Are they following other people?
Yeah.
Because that's how also I determine if women are just trying to gain male attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of scams that go on, man.
Something probably on your shirt, right by your beard.
Yeah, all right. It won't eat much. Yeah, it won't eat much. Have to bear with me, man. This is the first time I've used the tablet for this. I usually have print-offs, but I tell you all the ones that we've
the trees, man. Save the trees.
Well, that's what I was about to say. As many as we've had over the past 2 months, it's starting to add up a little bit. So about better off just to go with the tablet. But
yeah.
Again, there's multiple selfies of yourself, and saying where you work, exactly where you work, which I won't say that. That's up to you and your boss or whatever if it comes to that point. But I don't like outing people for where they work and stuff. That's not really what I'm about. But now if they work somewhere that might involve kids or something like that, I would like to kind of look into it a little bit more if I had the power to do that, which I don't. But we're still able to talk to people as just citizens. Mm-hmm. And if they give us any information, we kind of go off of that too. But, if we go and start talking to some of the people that we're not going to get different stories, that this has been something that has happened in the past with you, or that there's been any issues with you and your daughter, or, so like the mother of your daughter, if we talk to her, she wouldn't say that there's been any kind of allegations there's been any kind of.
I mean, if anything, I probably got allegations with her and then her choice of boyfriend.
I got you. Yeah, I had seen that part where you had mentioned that about her being in an open relationship or something like that, and how weird it was. But I kind of found the irony there that you was talking about how bad that was with, and then coming to meet 2 kids for sex, but which is what it is. I mean, it's like I said, it's at 14-year-old, you're still a child. It's not. There's a lot of these girls that may act a lot older at 14-year-old, but they're not fully developed mentally yet. Right. A lot of the times they don't understand what they're doing, and it's just like with sending nude photos and stuff like that. There's girls that do that because they have some boy that is not saying that you was begging for pictures, but you had mentioned it quite a few times throughout the chats. But say they send those messages and then those pictures get out, and it's just like I said,
I understood that part.
Yeah. Was you raised up in Alabama, or
no? I'm originally from North Carolina.
North Carolina.
I went from North Carolina to Tennessee, Alabama.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I've been married twice. Is there a whole bunch of more questions yet?
Not a whole lot, no. No, and it's like I said, you're free to leave at any time. It's just, it would be helpful to us if we can at least learn a little bit more about, what set you down this road, and what you personally, what would you do if you as a parent, to be able to guard your daughter from this?
I mean, you just have to be vigilant of who they're talking to. I know it's hard these days.
Yeah, it's almost impossible these days, man.
Cell phones. Which one thing that's even my son, I think he had his first cell phone about 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm. It's really common.
Which I didn't even have a cell phone.
Yeah. I grew up in the 90s, man. I don't think I had one until I was, 14 or 15, but it was a little prepaid, you pay a little bit here and a little bit there.
But definitely like cell phones, iPads, stuff like that.
You think there's a way they could set it up online, maybe to lock out from just random people being able to message like how you did with them?
Putting some type of parental settings. Like I know I had to. My daughter's mom mentioned something where my daughter was using a tablet of her ex-fiance's.
I got you.
And there was some stuff on the tablet. Well, she tried to take a picture of her butt and send it to some type of random person on that tablet that she had.
And how old was she then?
She was 5, 6 years old.
See, you see what I'm getting at there?
I understand.
And most likely, that's the scary part about it, man, is most likely that wasn't even another child. That was probably a grown man.
Yeah.
Because these people get on like Roblox and stuff like that, and they'll act like they're a grown man or a child, excuse me. And then it turns into that. It's actually a grown man portraying a child just to receive pictures.
I'm sorry to be serious. I need to stand up for just a minute.
How you doing?
I'm okay. We'll detain you here for just a moment. Okay, sure. You know what's going on?
He told me. I was just sitting here talking to him.
What did he tell you?
He was saying that he's just running this program, trying to, protect, kids that are, underage or whatnot from any type of predators or anything like that. I'm definitely not a predator.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you have the right to remain silent. Court attorney wanted to anytime that you're speaking with us, you want to request an attorney, stop speaking at that time. Request an attorney, no cost to you. You understand the rights that I read to you. Right tonight, you want to talk to us?
I'm not thirsty. I got my cell phone and my wallet. I don't have any. I don't even own a firearm. I'm speaking that much.
I didn't hear you say anything about my question. You want an attorney, or you go any further? You want to speak to us right now? You want an attorney?
I don't have an attorney.
You need an attorney?
Probably.
Okay, so you don't want to speak to us at this time?
What questions are you trying to ask?
Well,
about what?
Sure. What brings you up here? We're just detaining you right now.
I mean, I don't have anything to say right now.
Okay. We're 78, one male detained. All right, let's walk over to this part. You guys, we'll meet y'all in town.
I got you.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, always just accepted. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lion not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheek. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show